Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. When Hopkins County deputies made contact with David O'Neill Oxford Jr., age 44, of Sulphur Springs to serve an active felony warrant, Oxford granted consent for the deputies to enter his residence. While inside the residence, a plastic bag containing a crystal-like substance believed to be methamphetamine was in plain view. Oxford is in Hopkins County Jail, charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, more than 1 gram, less than 4 grams, of felony 3, and the warrant charge for possession of a controlled substance. A traffic stop by Sulphur Springs Police at the 130-mile marker on Interstate 30 this weekend found a Laredo man in possession of 95 pounds of marijuana. While being booked into jail, a $1 bill with suspected cocaine residue and a clear plastic bag of suspected cocaine was also found in his possession. Rigoberto Juarez, age 51, of Laredo, is in Hopkins County Jail. Cumbie Police located Preston Redmond, age 69, of Euless on County Road 4722 around 8:30 a.m. Sunday morning after a call was received regarding the unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. Advised of his rights, Redmond admitted to entering without consent the home of a female and taking the keys of the car. He had broken out a window to gain access. Redmond was arrested, transported to Hopkins County Jail. There, a jailer located a green plastic bag containing suspected methamphetamine in Redmond's possession. He is in jail for burglary of a habitation, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, and possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, more than 1 gram, less than 4 grams. His bonds total $40,000. William Johnny Johnson, age 71, of Yannis, was detained by the Loss Prevention Department of a local discount store when he passed the point of purchase without paying for merchandise. Records show he's been convicted of 2 or more previous thefts. He's charged with theft of property under $2,500, 2 or more previous convictions, a state jail felony. Early voting in the March primary begins Tuesday, tomorrow, ending Friday, with Hopkins County registered Republicans casting 2,366 ballots and Democrats casting 253 ballots. Tomorrow, all Hopkins County voting centers will be open from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. for the Republican and Democrat primary. You can find those voting centers listed on the Hopkins County webpage and on KSSTradio.com. Tuesday night at 7 p.m., City of Sulphur Springs Council meets in session for their March meeting. They meet in the council room, 201 North Davis Street. Proclamations regarding a National Service Recognition Day and Texas History Month will be read. The city manager will report to the council, and in action items, the council will consider an ordinance approving a tariff, authorizing an annual rate review mechanism as a substitution for the annual interim rate adjustment process between Atmos Energy and the organization of cities served by Atmos, a resolution authorizing submission for an application for a Texas Capital Fund grant, and action on a plat request for property at 130 East Shannon Road, creating 2 lots, are also on the agenda. Sulphur Springs High School band students wore their band shirts to school Monday in memory of their beloved director and Sulphur Springs High School Fine Arts Director, Charles McCauley. McCauley died Sunday morning. Social media has been filled with pictures and comments honoring his life and work. McCauley was one of those unique people who enabled all to find in him a friend. His love for his work, his students, his church, and his community brought him in contact with not just hundreds, but thousands of people. He made a contribution to each life. Discipline tempered with compassion would easily describe his motivation for students. He was not a turf-driven individual in his work. He saw his leadership of the band as just one more piece of the puzzle that provides success to various programs of the local school. In a statement to KSST News, Superintendent of Schools Michael Lamb said, Sulphur Springs Independent School District lost an incredible family member over the weekend. Charlie McCauley, our longtime band and fine arts director, has passed. Charlie had an amazing heart and passion for our kids, their futures, and teaching them to be great citizens and leaders in our community. Over his 20 years of service with our district, he touched the hearts and lives of thousands of our students. And Lamb said, I know that we were blessed to have known him. McCauley has been a true inspiration inspirational leader for our fine arts program, particularly for our Wildcat band. Lamb continued, my own son has been in the program for 5 years, and I've felt Charles' positive influence in my son's maturity and leadership ability over the years. I will truly miss my friend and truly miss the service he has provided for so many of our students. He will be greatly missed. Greg Owens, athletic director and head football coach for Sulphur Springs High School, said, I'm going to miss my friend Charlie McCauley. We had a very unique relationship as head coach and band director. We always got along, he said. Charlie loved his family and the kids he taught. He had a huge heart for people. The only negative Owens found in McCauley was his love for Arkansas Razorbacks, but Owens said he couldn't help that. The band man was full of joy and loved to laugh, he said. He made a huge impact on our school and all he taught. We're going to miss our friends. KSST News and Sports shares the loss. Charles McCauley was always ready to accommodate an interview and prepared information regarding the band, blazes, and halftime show for us for football season. We shall all, and I shall personally, miss him.
Yes, we were thrilled to death that we were able to acquire the services of Charles McCauley, who is the current band director at Quitman. I think they've been Division I the past 6 years, and just a whole lot of honor, so we feel very lucky, very fortunate to get Mr. McCauley to come to Sulphur Springs, and we're looking forward to him leading our band and fine arts program for the next few years.
7 years I've been the head band director at Quitman, so just down the road, and I had a great experience there. I was ready to tackle a new challenge, and was really interested also in being a fine arts director, and so that's why this job appealed to me.
All right. This will be more than just being a band director, won't it?
Right. I'm really interested in overseeing the entire program, all the arts, the theater, band, of course, choir, art, the drill team, everyone, to see their programs, be successful, and I'm going to try to make sure that happens. I have a wife, Diana, and an 8-year-old son, William, and they're excited about coming to Sulphur Springs, and we just can't wait. We're already getting started and already starting to meet some of the kids, and I'm very excited.
I understand you were successful with your work in Quitman with the band.
Yes, sir. We were very fortunate. We had some great kids there and great parents, and when you have that and great support, you can build a program, and just had 7 really good years, and it was time for us to, we felt like it was time to move on, and this job really appealed to us.
What kind of changes can we expect as we watch the band this next year?
Well, I definitely have my own marching style. We are going to continue to be a corps style band, but that means a drum corps style, which is what they've been doing. But we use what I call old military fundamentals. That we don't counter march, but we do pop our kicks and pop our halts, and so it's a very distinctive style that has been one that I've used all my career. So there'll be a little difference there. We're going to be doing a show this year that's going to be all music from the movie The Blues Brothers, and so I think it'll be a very exciting show that the kids will like. And in fact, a couple of them came by yesterday and said they've already gone to rent the movie, and so that means they may be a little excited about it, and I think it'll be one the community will enjoy.
Do you have any numbers yet? How many you'll be working with?
It looks like about 100, a little over 100, 106 is what we have on the roll, and we're looking for anyone who may have not signed up for band the last year or two. If they want to come back and give it a try, that'd be great. We'd welcome them back.
Well, so far it's going great. We met yesterday with our leaders of all of our squads. I had about a 9-hour training session on leadership and that type of thing, and I was really encouraged. After I left there yesterday, the kids really seem to have a desire to really want to be great, and that's what it takes. So I'm really excited, and this morning's been going great too. We're out here in the sun. Luckily it's a little windier today, so it's not going bad, but so far I'm really encouraged.
When you talk about working with the leaders, what all did you go over with them?
Well, we just talked about mainly, first of all, how to lead themselves. That most leadership is done by being an example. Really, you can't make anyone or ask you to lead anyone. They basically just follow you. And if you set the example that they want to follow and can motivate them where they can be motivated themselves, not have to be motivated by some outside force, but can have the desire and create that within their heart, then you'll probably have a pretty good success as being a leader.
You're going to introduce some changes in the marching style and so forth. Is
Right.
that also part of what you did?
Yes, it is. We spent part of the session yesterday talking about some of the changes. You know, anytime you have a change in director, no matter who the director is or where it is, there are some little small things that you change, and we're changing. We actually are going to be using the old-time military fundamentals. That we won't be countermarching or anything like that, but we'll be popping all the kicks and popping all the halts and doing flanks and also popping our horns up and down. So it's very pop precise type of moves. And then we'll be marching with the toe up core style. So
When you begin practice here, I know you're doing it in the morning when it's a little cooler, but in this heat, it's not cool any time of day.
well, it's really not. And all I have them scheduled right now is we're running basically the band in classes. Like right now we have the woodwinds and the color guard and the French horns out here. They're out here for about 50 minutes, and then they go inside and they'll be playing inside in sectionals with their horns, and the people who are inside right now will come back and they'll be out here for about 55 minutes. And that's all we're going to be outside today. And then tomorrow will be a little more. And I've been interested, the last few weeks I've been listening to the cowboy training camp, and it's interesting how it's kind of been the same. You start out, get these kids slowly, gradually into being outside and being this active. Some of them have been active over the summer. Some of them have been sleeping till noon. So, so I had to be real careful about that. And we have plenty of water and give them plenty of breaks. So it's just getting them used to being outside again.
They've already gone through the region process. We had that back in December. And then when they go to this contest, there aren't but about, when you go to region contest, there may be 40 in your room. There may be 45 in your room. Depends on the instrument. At this contest, there may be 12 or 16. But they're all the top 1, 2, or 3 cheers in their sections from their regions. There was 5 regions. So they go to the contest, they get their number, audition number, and it's just like a region. You're in a room, you perform the music in front of all the other people. They'll pull your number up, call your number. You'll do the first exercise, and they'll go all the way around. Everyone will do the first exercise. Then they start the second exercise, and you do all the way around. So you play in front of all your peers, but everybody else, they're not paying attention to you. They're worrying about their next piece. Sure. So I always tell them, they're not listening to you, and the judges are behind a screened wall, so they don't want anybody to know, who is from what school. So it's a total blind tryout. There's 5 judges. They tally the scores up, and the top scores go. So it's a very integrity-filled process. There's no funny stuff that goes on or anything, and it's just a real. It's nerve-wracking a little bit, but it's exciting too, because usually everyone's going to be pretty darn good.
Yeah. Is music something they get to practice, or is it something they see the first time when they show up? Or?
What happens is, back in the state releases the all-state music, audition music, like the last week of July, first week of August, around there. I think it's the last week of July now. And then we will have what we call region cuts. The state will release 3 pieces of music, and one will usually be like real technical, one will be real lyrical, and then one's kind of a combination, because they're trying to test all of your capabilities. But it'll be the whole piece. It'll be like all of number, and they all come out of etude books which are designed to help. It's what I learned how to play trombone better in college with. They're technique books is what they are, and they all come from those. Those are all approved, of course, by the state. Everything's done on the up and up of the state, and the state chooses. There's a committee who chooses everything, and so after that, then the regions will come back and say, well, we don't want anybody to have to learn, because let's be honest, everybody in the region is not going to learn those long pieces of music. They're very hard. So the region cut is a shorter cut of those. And that's what they'll try it on at region. And then when you go to state, then they'll choose from the whole piece. So you're responsible for learning the whole piece. So if you're an all-state quality player, you probably are area player like all these kids. They're probably learning the whole piece anyway when they're working on region. So the music is not new if they make it, and then they choose from that. Now they don't go play the whole piece because that would take forever. Mm-hmm. Each committee will decide on the day of the tryout what selections of the pieces they're going to hear, and they'll go hear those, and that'll be that.
As far as practicing for this, I guess you wait till the regional cut to kind of. Are the kids just from July just start kind of as they can?
Well, what we do in this office here is we by the end of August, because we're starting it with marching band and everything, by the end of August, we will have everything copied and put in. Here's flute. Here's everything's in a crate, and they can come pick. Any kid who will try out for region, they can come pick. Here we've already marked it off, and here's the region cuts, and they take ninth grade cuts from that as well for the same piece, but it's even smaller cut. The difficult thing is, so it's available to them. Now, if a kid wants to go online and get it at the end of July, that's fine. We just provide it for everybody. Mm-hmm. So, if the kid wants to take some initiative, then that's great. Go ahead and do that. And also, if they're taking private lessons, their private lesson teacher may also already have it for them. But we'll provide it for them, and they'll come in and add the stuff ready yet, and we'll provide it for them. But it is optional for them to get it earlier. But I guess the thing that's so difficult about this is you need to be, if you think about it, football season is over. If you play one playoff game, then it's Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. And then we come back, and the tryouts are not the week we get back, but the next week. So you really have to be doing this all during football season. So it's really extra. I mean, it really is. It's difficult for programs, like some programs have double blocked their own block schedule. That like North Lamar is double blocked. They actually have it where they can teach all this music in their band period, because marching band is totally separate after school. Mm-hmm. It's not during their band period time. And that's an advantage for them, because then everybody gets, we can't do that. Because our band period time, we're still working on marching band. So it does take extra effort on the students to work with their private lesson teacher if they have that, or to work with the director during September and October, when the last thing you're thinking about it is all region tryouts. Mm-hmm. So, it's an honor for them to be able to make the region band and do that, because it truly is extra work on their own part. We assist them as much as we possibly can, but it's an honor for them just because they're showing some initiative.
Here's Don Julian with sports.
8 Wildcats basketball players made the all-district team selected by the district's head coaches recently. Wildcats junior post Victory Walker was chosen as the district's most valuable player. Junior guard Keyston Willis, sophomore forward God's Gift Azadinma, and sophomore point guard Michael Jefferson were selected first team all-district. Senior Bryson Lynn and senior Diedrich Godbolt made second team all-district. Junior post Xavier Cork and sophomore forward Sadadrian Day Hall made honorable mention all-district. Earning academic all-district honors for the Wildcats were Lynn, Jefferson, Willis, and Cork. The Saltillo Lions had a basketball season to be proud of, but it ended Friday night against the number 1 ranked Lipan Indians in a regional semifinal game, 69-22. The Lions were limited to single-digit scoring in each quarter as Lipan rolled. Matthew Gurley led the Lions with 7 points. Walker McGill had 6 points. Trevor Moore scored 4 points. Lyle Bench had 3 points, and Eddie Alayo scored 2 points. The Lions end the season with a 24-14 record. 2 Wildcats powerlifters qualified for the state meet at a regional meet Saturday in Lindale. And we get results from the Wildcats powerlifting coach, Casey Jeter.
It was a great day for Wildcats. We went in, we competed. Boys did very well. The hard work they've been putting in throughout the years paid off. We didn't come out of it how we thought we would. We were shooting for a top 3 place. We ended up number 5. We tied for 4th with Ennis and Midlothian. Ennis had a 2nd place and we didn't, so they got it. 1st place went to Huntsville, 2nd place went to Greenville, and 3rd place went to Hallsville. So it looks like the Vills took it this year. Other than that, our boys did really good. Deidrick Dugan took 1st place in the 242s. Ian Blanche took 3rd place, but he had a qualifying total of 1,500. So those 2 will be going to state. Right. Deidrick also tried to pull the regional record of 1660. Or of 660, excuse me, and he got it all the way to the top, but they said he hitched, so I kind of argued it a little bit, but other than that, I was very proud of the boys. Alex Rodriguez in the 123s took 3rd place, moved up 2 places, very proud of him. And Joel Morales in the 132s took 3rd place also, and he took 3rd place. He was 5 pounds out from going to state. He missed it by 5 pounds. And then his brother, Vinny Morales, Vinny took 4th place in the 181s. And those were all of our boys that placed. We had 5 of them place. The guys worked hard. Like I said, they did very good. I was very proud of them. So we'll have the state meet on March 24th in Abilene. And take those 2 down there and see how they do.
You said they had a good competition going. They can continue it at state, right?
Yes, sir. Those 2 have been going back and forth all year long. I think Ian didn't talk to Deidrick the whole way home. So, but no, and they're already getting back to work. They came in today, and I was going to give them Monday off, and they said, "Coach, no time. Let's go. Let's get to work." So I'll see them both today and get them going.
Very good. It's been a good powerlifting year. It kind
Yes,
of
sir.
capped off for these guys going to state.
Yes, sir. Yes, it did. So, and they're both working for Summit State. Ian Blanche is trying to set the school record. The school record is 635 squat. He wants to get there and beat that and get his name on the board forever. And Deidrick, we're actually working for the state. It's a state pound for pound deadlift. So you can actually get it. You might not place in the meet, in which our competition's pretty heavy there, but it's something to work for. And that's what we're always pushing for, is let's break a record, let's find something that we can do that we've never done before. And it's energizes the boys, give them something good to work for.
The Wildcats baseball team wrapped up play at Lindale's Robbie Surratt Memorial Tournament with a 5-3 win over host Lindale Saturday night. Overall, the Wildcats won 1 and lost 3 during the tournament, but Wildcats coach Jared Hammock was so pleased with the Saturday night win over a good Lindale team, he said it almost made him forget 3 poor earlier defeats in the tournament. Saturday night, the Wildcats used good pitching and timely hitting to defeat the Eagles. Ryan Humphreys went 5 innings to get the win. He allowed only 3 hits and 2 runs with only 1 earned run. Humphreys walked 5 and struck out 3. Payson Edwards threw the final 2 innings, earning a save, giving up only 1 hit and 1 run while striking out 1 and walking 1. The Wildcats were able to score 5 runs on 5 hits. Tristan McCormick was 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and 2 doubles. Humphreys was 1 for 4 with 2 runs scored and an RBI. Dawson Draper drove home a run on a sacrifice fly. And Caden Argenbright walked 3 times in 4 at-bats. And courtesy runner Connor Bergen scored 2 runs. Jackson Cheney was 2 for 4 with 2 doubles. In the tournament, the Wildcats also lost to Atlanta 5-3 on Thursday. Then on Friday, lost to the Brook Hill School 13-7 and to All Saints Episcopal School of Tyler 7-2. Despite those losses, Coach Hammock felt the Lindale win Saturday night was one that the team could really build upon. The Wildcats will be playing in a Sherman-Denison tournament Thursday through Saturday, and district play will begin for the Wildcats the following week. The Lady Cats softball team won 4 and lost 2 in a Wiley tournament this past weekend. That fourth win in the tournament was the 400th victory for Lady Cat softball coach David Carrillo in his 20-year career. We talked with Coach Carrillo Friday about a McKinney loss and a Sherman win. Monday morning, we discussed the last 4 games of the tournament and more.
You know, we had a back-to-back game against Lubbock Cooper, and then we played Sherman. Lubbock Cooper was a slugfest. You know, we had got down, and I was so proud of our kids that game because they got down, and we constantly had to keep fighting back. And that was one of those games I just thought that we were going to refuse to lose. They just had a will to win and kept on competing. So I was very pleased with that game. It ended up being a 15-14 slugfest, but I'm telling you, they had to battle. You know, both teams, you know, they were just getting after it. And that was a big win for us, I thought, because that was the first time that I could feel like the competitiveness and the fire of our team was really showing. And, you know, even the girls that were on the bench as well as the girls that were playing, it was like we were going to win this game, and they found a way to win. The next game was against Sherman, and Bailey Haggerty threw an awesome game again, and we were able to score runs, and I believe that was a 6-1 ball game that we won. So it was kind of a tale of 2 games right there. So, but we ended up winning 2 that game, and then Saturday we beat Burleson Centennial 7-2, and again Bailey pitched an awesome game and did a great job offensively. We did a great job of hitting. I believe Brinkley Driver hit a home run in that game. I believe. Going into the late game, I just think the fire just we were just tired, you know, and you know we didn't play as well, and you know. Those things happened, and we got down, and we ended up getting beat that game 15-0. But, you know, I was telling our kids that I'm not really even looking at that score. You know, we still saw some good things, even though it doesn't look like it. But I do feel and really believe that we're ready for Tuesday for our first district opener.
All right. You collected your 400th win as a softball coach. That's congratulations.
Oh, thank you. That you know, I always tell everybody I'm just blessed. You know, I've had some good players. I've had great coaches around me, and you know, parents. You know, it takes them to keep things going because they're the ones that haul their kids off and on. So, you know, it's not about me. It's just about the team and the program, and I've been blessed to be a part of it and this great game. Because originally, when I first started coaching, I wanted to be this football guy and go do this, and thinking I was going to stay on the boys' side. But the Lord had something more in store for me, and this was it. And it's been a great ride. You know, I've done this 20 years and been involved in a lot of softball games. But you know, I wouldn't trade anything for anything. You know, it's just been good, and I love all the kids that I've had an opportunity to encounter, and it just makes it more like a mission field to me. So those wins come when you do things right, and I feel like deep in our heart we're trying to do the right things, and we're trying to instill life lessons to our kids, and that's what it's all about. Because this thing of softball, you know, for some of them ends in 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, whatever. But eventually softball is going to end, but you're going to keep going on in life and having to do things. So that's why we try to instill more of life lessons, because that's what it's all about.
Influenced a lot of lives. District play starts this week.
Yes.
And Greenville coming in. How are they?
Right now, I really, you know, I've kind of watched them. I mean, I haven't got to see them live, but I've kind of just read things in the paper. They still have their pitcher returning, and you know, from what I understand, that you know they're a little bit better than last year. But you know, we're just going to have to go. The district opener, you get the nerves going. You know, it's always hard to just overcome that because it is a different game. Now it's district, it's go time, and it's not like you're playing in tournaments and know, hey, I'm going to play 2 or 3 games in one day. It's one game, one shot that day, and you got to play better than that team that day, or you know, it's going to be bad. So you know, we're trying to take the approach we over me and take one game at a time, one pitch at a time, and let's get after it. So you know, we're just focused on Greenville, and we're going to go over there and hopefully take care of business at our place that we do get to play on, I'm sure, tomorrow. So, you know, that's a very exciting time for our kids as well as our fans because, you know, during this time you're always traveling, you're always having to get things together. But it's going to be really nice just to sit at home and do our thing at home. So we're really looking forward to playing tomorrow.
The Wildcats golf team finally got to play in a tournament this season as they played in the grueling Twisted 54 tournament this past weekend in Longview. Wildcats golf coach Chris Owens tells us more.
Yes, sir. It's a great tournament. You know, we get to play a lot of golf, and this year that was great for us because we hadn't been able to play a lot of golf with the weather, with all the rain. But it's a little bit taxing on the guys, but I think it's a good for them, especially in the mental aspect of golf. You know, you have to be strong to finish. And we played 36 holes on Friday, which it can be taxing. You know, we left here at 5:30 in the morning and played golf till 6:30 that evening. So, but we got a lot of good golf in. Kids played pretty good the first day. We shot a 304 as a team the first day. In the first 18, the next 18 we shot 325. And then we played over at Pinecrest Country Club on Saturday, which is a little more challenging golf course, a little longer, and shot 330. Yes, 330, that's right. Overall, a good weekend. We were just pleased to be able to play. You know, the weather was good. It was warm. It was, you know, obviously the course was wet, so we weren't getting any roll, and we did have some difficulty. A lot of kids did finding golf balls that were plugged in the mud and those kind of things. That was a little bit of a challenge. But overall, it was a great weekend. Good to get 54 holes of golf in and enjoy the weather. A couple of our kids played pretty good and kind of led the way. Carter Lewis led the way. He shot 75, 80, 79. And then senior Cameron Morris shot 77, 79, 83. Those were two of the probably most consistent kids over the weekend. But just looking forward to everybody improving a little bit, especially with the ability to be able to practice this week. You know, the forecast is not showing a whole lot of rain, so we're excited about that. We're going to go Friday and play in Rockwall at Rockwall Golf and Athletic Club, which is where our district tournament will be. This is the district preview, so we'll be there, and a lot of schools in our district will be there, so we'll get a good look at the course and prepare for district.
Yeah, Twisted 54, that was the first time for your team to get out. I think they had at least one more schedule that the weather was just awful.
Absolutely right. It's the first tournament we've been to this year. So, you know, we pack as much as we can into March anyway, you know, leading up to the April, you know, first week of April is when our district is. So I like them to play as much as they possibly can in March, and that's what we're going to do.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.